Today, on Guess What I Found Out? Biology lied to you. Well, not lied exactly. More like simplified things to the point of being just flat out wrong. And curious George, it turns out the truth is way more interesting. For most of us, high school biology went something like this. XX equals female, XY equals male. Done. 2 boxes. Neat little labels. Move on to photosynthesis. But modern biologists, the ones who actually spend their careers digging into this stuff, have a different take. Biological sex is not a coin with 2 sides. It is more like a dial with 1,000 settings, shaped by chromosomes, hormones, gonads, and anatomy. And those 4 things do not always agree with each other. Here is where it gets genuinely wild. Nearly 2% of all live births involve what are called differences of sexual development, or DSDs. That is a medical term for when a person's biology does not fit neatly into the standard male or female template. 2% sounds small until you do the math. That is potentially 130 million people alive right now. More people than most countries on Earth. And most of them have no idea, because DSDs are not always visible from the outside. So how does this happen? It starts before you are born. At 6 weeks of development, a fetus has something called gonadal ridges, basically biological raw material that could become either ovaries or testes. It also has 2 complete sets of internal ducts, one capable of forming female anatomy and one capable of forming male anatomy. What happens next is a balancing act between at least 25 different genes, all pushing and pulling to tip development one way or the other. One mutation in the wrong place, one gene landing in an unexpected location, and the whole process goes in a different direction. And chromosomes, well, they are weirder than you think. You probably learned about XX and XY, right? But actually, some people are born XXX, some are XYY, some are just X with nothing paired to it, and some are XXY, which is called Klinefelter syndrome, and it affects about 1 in 600 male births. There's also something called mosaicism, where a single fertilized egg produces a body full of cells that aren't all genetically identical. And then there's chimerism, where 2 fertilized eggs fuse early in development, creating one person with 2 completely different sets of DNA. One body, 2 genomes. That's not science fiction. That's Tuesday. If you are finding your mind just a little bit blown right now, go ahead and hit that follow button on Guess What I Found Out. We do this every week. And there is one more layer here that most people never hear about. Microchimerism. During pregnancy, a fetus and the person carrying it exchange stem cells through the placenta. Those cells stick around. A chromosomal female can carry XY cells in her body for decades after giving birth. A son can carry XX cells from his mother for years. Biologically speaking, many of us are already a quiet mosaic of more than one person. Now, the history of how medicine handled all of this is, to put it generously, not great. Back in the 1960s, doctors began pushing for surgery on infants born with ambiguous anatomy, with the goal of assigning a clear sex as early as possible. The thinking was that ambiguity would cause psychological harm, and parents were often encouraged to keep the whole thing secret. The problem? Many of the adults who grew up with those surgeries report chronic pain, scarring, loss of sensation, and high rates of gender dysphoria. The secrecy made things worse, not better. Modern medicine is moving in a very different direction. Unless a procedure is immediately medically necessary, like unblocking a urethra or reducing a genuine cancer risk, the current thinking is to wait. Let the child grow up. Let them be part of the conversation about their own body. Treatment today focuses on therapy, hormonal support, and specialized care teams that include geneticists, endocrinologists, and mental health professionals, all working together with the family. So the next time someone tells you that biology is simple, that it all comes down to 2 chromosomes and 2 boxes, you can politely let them know that the science disagrees. And the science is, as always, a lot more interesting. That is a wrap on today's Guess What I Found Out. Here is your homework. Drop a fun fact about DSDs, chromosomes, or anything we covered today in the comments. Teach me something, Curious George. And if this one earned it, a like and a subscribe helps more people find their way here. We will see you on the next one.